Hello, it's Lisa again here to go over this coming up week's lesson with you guys. This week should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun activities. Our verse still this month is God made us to do good works. And this week's lesson is a really good example of what that verse means. And it's about the little boy that shared his lunch and fed the 5,000. So if you don't know the story, Jesus was preaching to a huge crowd, and his disciples realized that people were getting hungry. So he said, well, see what you can find. And all they could find was one little boy that had 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. And so Jesus took that and he prayed over it, and he told the disciples to just start passing it out. So they just kept on and on and on and on. And so they fed 5,000 with just 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and there were still baskets and baskets of food left over. So this little boy was doing exactly what our memory verse said. He did good works, and he shared. And all these kids, they understand about sharing. So the first activity this week should be pretty fun. And if you can see on the table, we have a lot of cutouts of fish and bread. So I tried to separate them all and label them so you'll know which activity, which fish group goes with which activity. So the first activity is called Bread and Fish Stampede. And if you're in a class that's there for 2 services, I labeled your bag. It says Bread and Fish Stampede, second service. There's a bag for the first and there's a bag for the second. And this activity, it just has all these little cutouts of bread and fish. And you have your butcher paper. If you'll just roll it out, you can tape it to the table, tape it to the floor. And you have some glue sticks, and you can just put the glue on the paper and let the kids glue these on the paper, and then just hang it up in your class. And just while you're doing this, tell them, today we're going to be talking about a story that has bread and fish. And then the second activity is called So Many. So these fish and breads are in the little Ziploc bag called So Many. And so what you do is inside the bucket is lots of fish and bread. So when you get your bag, there's going to be a lot of fish. So put most of them in there, and then put 2 fish and 5 loaves on top, and then sit down. You can sit down at the table or on the floor, and this is a time to share with the kids the story. And in your packet, there's it'll tell you the story, and it tells you what to say, and it's really simplified it down, especially for some of the little ones to be able to understand. So the story is in there, and hold your bucket like this, and then talk about the story. And then when you get to the part about how they just kept passing it out and finding more and more, you can take the towel off and then show them the bucket, and they can see. And you can let them touch and see how many fish and loaves there were, because it's a pretty amazing story. And so then the third game is called Tic-Tac-Toe, and there's some fish and some bread, and everybody should have tape. So just make a big tic-tac-toe board on the floor and let the kids go into teams. They can be the fish team and the bread team and take turns playing tic-tac-toe. The little ones may not understand the tic-tac-toe idea, but they'll still have fun putting the fish and the bread in the squares and stuff. So that's fun. And then the transition activity should be pretty fun. It's called 2s and 5s, and it's kind of like Simon Says, but you do everything in 2s and 5s. So you jump 2 times, or you jump 5 times, or you clap 2 times, or clap 5 times. So that just kind of reinforces how many fishes and loaves there were, because sometimes you remember the story, but you don't always remember which was which. And then the craft this week is going to be a lot of fun. It's super easy, and this will really work with their imaginations. So it's just Play-Doh this week, but you'll have plates in there in the art room, and so they're supposed to try to make their favorite food out of all of the different kinds of Play-Doh. Just make sure they don't eat them, but they should have a super fun time just making different things out of Play-Doh. So that will be enjoyable for them. And that's it for this week. Bye.